Long before the chosen undead walked the realms of Drangleic, there once stood proud knights, renowned for their prowess in combat. These were the High Knights. However, as they were driven from their tower, they were forced to wander across the land. One such knight came upon a place known as Aldia's Keep, a keep owned by none other than the brother of King Vendrick himself. This High Knight was welcomed in, and he was changed, warped. He was instilled with powerful sorceries and dark hexes, and upon finishing his transformation, he ventured across the land in search of more powerful magics and weaponry. Upon returning to the keep, however, he noticed it had changed. It had become dark, corrupt, and he wondered what would lie within. Thus began the journey of the champion of Aldia and his quest to reclaim the keep. He noticed foul hobgoblins immediately aside the entrance, foul beasts corrupt with the ability to petrify. But they were no match, and he quickly dispatched them with his hunter's black bow, a grand weapon he had come across on his journeys. Black Knight Greatswords? He wondered, had the knights become an experimentation of the keep similar to him? What had happened at the keep since his time away? What had changed? Upon dispatching the beasts, he made his way towards the entrance of the keep, unaware of the terrors and monstrosities that await inside, but going in knowing that it was only he who could reclaim the keep back. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my new build video, the Champion of Aldia. So this, of course, is a hybrid build with a combination of powerful melee, dex-based melee at that, along with sorceries and hexes. Really fun build to play, and of course, as you're hearing, I writ some lore with it too. So for the use of this video, I'm going to be going through talking about the lore as I clear Aldia's Keep. But looking through the build real fast, we're of course running a Dark Drift. You know, the translucent look of it really fit well with the theme I was going for the build, being a warrior combined with magic. Of course, a Moonlight Greatsword because it's a standard for any mage. Our Hunter's Black Bow, instilled with dark. Great ranged weapon, fast arrow knock speed. Really enjoy it. Magic Witch Tree Branch because it has, you know, I was looking for something that I could do sorceries and hexes with, and it has really good cast speed at 140, so it's a great choice for that. Of course, the Watcher's Shield because this guy is about sorceries and hexes, not so much faith, so I wanted something that could shut down the lightning as well as have decent physical and a low carry weight. Of course, with rings, my standard being Chloranthy and Third Dragon. We also are running Southern Ritual and Clear Bluestone since we're a caster. High Knight Leggings, Gauntlets, and Chainmail, and then finally, the Dragon Sage Hood, bestowed upon him by the Archmaster of Aldia himself. Looking at our spell loadout, we are running Affinity because it's great as a setup ability in PvP, also as a lag check. Dark Weapon to put on our Dark Drift. Soul Shower to help set up a combo with our Crystal Soul Spear. Heavy Homing Soul Arrow because it's a great ability to finish people off with. A lot of people have trouble dodging it. Dark Fog to work a little bit of poison into the build. And then lastly, Dark Greatsword because it's a new spell and it's sexy to use it. So, looking at the stats briefly, we are SL 300 on this character. Endurance and Vigor both at 50 for the soft caps, Vitality just high enough for equipment load, a 2-minute 75 for the max slots, Strength and Dex both at their respective numbers so that we can meet stat requirements on Moonlight Greatsword and Dark Drift. Adaptability at 9 because at 105 agility we have one less iframe than at 115, and it wasn't really worth going up to 115. Intellect at 80 because I'm SL 300 and I can do that. You really only need it to be about 50 for this build to be effective. And then of course Faith was at 30 for a Hexes, but the Helm actually raises Faith and Int by 1. So now that we've briefly touched on the build, we're going to go through the keep, and then of course we'll do some PvP at the end. But we're going to do this different. Instead of just clearing through and doing a boss, we're going to do the whole keep while incorporating some fun lore into it and that nice storytelling voice. As the night continued on into the keep, he noticed it was much different from that which he remembered. Bloodstains strewn the surface, the floor cracked. A skeleton of a dragon up above on the staircase. He wondered, had Aldia successfully recreated the dragons in the quest for immortality? He knew not which wayed him, and rode down a hallway, seeing signs strewn throughout. One such sign saying, "Don't you dare," he noticed a lever. However, it had already been pulled. Though he was unaware of what lay ahead of him, he could feel a dark presence lurking within the keep. Not knowing what it was, he continued on down another corridor and noticed a man, hunched over, seemingly huddled. He approached.
My very gods! What have you done? You've really done it. You'll never escape him.
A man known as Royal Sorcerer Navland, sitting huddled, clutching his head. He could only assume this man had been warped and twisted by the inhabitants of the keep. Or knowing what to do, he continued onward on his quest through the keep to find what now lied within and what enemies awaited him. As he grazed up the stairs, he saw a hippoclops, petrified. What foul magics had taken place here since he'd been gone? He approached the second floor, and noticed a chest up ahead. Were there goodies now hidden in the keep? He wondered. He opened the chest and noticed a great spell, that of Great Magic Barrier. He found it odd. A keep that had previously been about developing magic was now developing spells which counter magic. And then upon the wall he saw mirrors. But what behold? A warrior trapped inside the mirror, he thought. He looked at the warrior, wondering what it was as he prepared himself. The warrior advanced, his affinity going off, hitting the warrior. Were these the Dark Knights? The knight struck him with such power it knocked him back, and he let loose a soul spear to hit it across the chest. These Knights of Darkness, he wondered, were they once like him himself? Had they been trapped in that mirror for experiments? Or were they something else? Something that was created within the keep? As he fell the first night, he continued, looking at the additional mirrors, wondering what else was in store. Another night. Lo and behold, it was not just one, but there were multiples. He cast his dark greatsword, but it was blocked. Affinity, however, hit the beast hard and strong. This Dark Knight, wielding a greatsword, he advanced up with his dark drift, taking a swing across the chest. He knew he could not stand against these foes for long if he kept taking hits. He proceeded to circle behind, dispatching his foe with his newfound katana. The knight of the great shield and the sword fell, but he felt he was still not alone. He wondered what other dark presence await, and found a third black knight inside of the mirror. As he cast his spells, he began to wonder what sick and twisted things had happened at the keep since he had been gone. He knew that things had changed, but he did not think they had been warped to this extent. Temporarily setting aside his katana, he brought up his Moonlight Greatsword, a sword said to have once belonged to the legendary Dragon Seath himself, a sword instilled with magic beyond that which man should ever wield. He continued upward, and lo and behold, a great beast, a basilisk, caged, and a dark spirit as well. The warrior knew it would not be wise to attempt to fight the beast and a spirit at the same time, so he prepared himself, putting up an affinity. While waiting for the dark spirit, he began to assault the basilisk. Knowing it is not the type of beast he would want to fight head-on, he poisoned it from afar. Watching the beast slowly tick away, he waited on his potential invader to come. What had happened to the keep? monstrous beasts were now in cages. Beings from other worlds invaded in hopes of taking his life. The knight not knew what else would await him, but one thing he did know is that it would for sure be a challenge that he would never forget. Still awaiting the arrival of the invader, he continued to release volley after volley of arrows into the foul basilisk, knowing that the dark white mist that poured from its mouth would petrify him, turn him into stone. It was not something he was willing to deal with. And the basilisk suddenly reset. The dark invader approached. Dark invader with a bow and what seemed to be a monastery scimitar. A strong blast, though, and the invader was no more. No, no, he said. You will not beat me with such indignant items. Advancing up on the basilisk, he decided to spare the beast. Realizing it not worth the effort it would take to kill, he continued onward, and pulled down the lever on the dragon statue. As the door opened to the inner domains of the keep, the soul which he once lost long ago lay before him. He buffed up, unaware of what else might lurk within. And behold, a dragon acolyte. Once proud researchers of the facility, it now seemed to be corrupted, its mind lost. He dodged it, and sunk his katana deep into the back. Lo and behold, another. More foul creatures within the keep. It seems the dark invader that previously had come had unleashed all sort of monstrosity. As the dragon acolyte proceeded, he advanced up on it, ready for a fight. A quick dodge, and swings across the back proceeded with the moonlight greatsword. The defender of Aldia was no match. As he destroyed the acolyte, he took a petrified dragon bone from its corpse and gazed upon the grand hippoclops in front of him. Whereas the previous one had been petrified, this one seemed alive and well. He knew these grand beasts were not to be trifled with, and quickly retreat to a safe location, knowing he could blast the beast from afar with magics, and not daring to come close for fear that it would eat him whole. The beast advanced quickly, looking to create a snack out of our champion, but he would not be outdone so easily. He continued to blast the beast, pouring powerful magics, sorceries, and hexes alike into the beast. It fell before him, and he continued his journey onward. But lo and behold, up ahead, what is this? Another red invader await him. Upon grabbing some mushrooms, he prepared to continue further. Seeing the invader, knowing not that which it guarded, but he found the lab of Aldia. Another soul to be summoned here? A grand onion knight, wielding a lance and staff of wisdom? He sat down at this ritual site, wondering what had in fact changed with this keep while he had been gone. Was it simply the madness of the kingdom? Without knowing what else further await him, he rested at the bonfire, and lo and behold, the previous acolytes he had killed had come back. He wondered if this was some new dark magic that they had developed, the ability to respawn, and he prepared to kill the acolyte, circling around its back, a swift swing from his moonlight greatsword. 'Twas not enough. He aimed to poison the foul acolyte. Another backstab. Swing! And as the acolyte lay there poisoned, it slowly bled out. One more grand swing from his moonlight greatsword, though, was enough to take it out. He proceeded further, noticing what seemed to be another invader of sorts in front of him. He cast Dark Fog. The invader, seemingly unaffected, but suddenly awakened with daggers. He began to fight off the great invader. The invader taking a back step, the champion withdrew. Knowing his health was low, he proceeded to heal quickly. He could not risk dying, not on his quest. He must be the one to purge the keep of these now filthy creatures. Dark invaders throughout. He advanced with his katana, getting strikes on the invader. An over-the-head blow. 'Twas not enough, though. He switched a dark greatsword, and the invader fell. The knight continued onward, unaware of what other challenges would await him within. As he approached the door, he noticed more of the foul acolytes that had now been corrupted. Proceeded to go at it very quickly with his katana, dismantling it as another acolyte approached him. He would not be outdone by these foul creatures. He felt pity destroying the mages, knowing that they had once been great, but he knew that it must be done. What had happened to the dragon acolytes? Regardless, no longer were they the fantastic sorcerers and researchers that they were once known for. Before him stood a giant beast, the type that looked as if it would emit a substance that would break his equipment. Keeping his range, he decided to take it out from far away, knowing it would be unwise to risk the equipment breakage. He continued onward, though, seeing another grand beast in a cage. He wondered what had the researchers been doing. Why were these foul and monstrous creatures now caged? Had the keep not originally been about the purpose of dragons? While the creature lay in the cage, the champion of Aldia unleashed volley after volley of arrows into it, and in fact began to feel a sort of sympathy. Realizing the creature likely did not come here of its own volition, it had simply ended up here, now experimented on for dark and sick twisted purposes. He thought to himself, "'Tis only right that I end the misery of this beast." As the beast fell, he noticed another Ogreclops advance. The Ogreclops already beginning to rampage through. He cast Dark Fog to poison the beast. Begun to unleash his arrows upon it, not risking the threat of being eaten. Doors were shattered, and the Hippoclops seemed to withdraw. No, it had not. It had unleashed basilisks. He waited in a room safe away from the Hippoclops, destroying the basilisk as it advanced on him. The Hippoclops now stood, waiting to assault. Another cast of Dark Fog against the beast. The champion would not be eaten so easily. He used the life gem to restore his vitality, not wanting to tempt the fates against the foul creature. He waited as it slowly ticked down against him, greatly utilizing his dark arrows, as the beast lay poisoned from Dark Fog. It decided it did not want to show itself in the door, but simply dodge instead. No matter though. For the champion of Aldia, no beast would be too large. As he proceeded onward, he noticed Dar's board. Another sick champion that had been twisted further. He prepared to kill the foul acolyte. Backing up as the acolyte advanced, he switched to two-handing his katana, and with a swift blow, defeated it. Below him lay a pool of acid, twisted monstrous dogs frolicking within. He decided it was not worth to go forth and fight the said animals. But one more ogre would bar his way. Once again using his Dark Hunter's black bow, he poisoned the beast from afar, unleashing arrow after arrow into it, knowing that the beast would not advance, as it was out of the range of the vision. While the Hippoclops was a beast of great strength, its one eye left it limited. It could not see very far away, and the champion knew this. He continued his volley of arrows into the beast, knowing he would finish it off shortly. Unleashing more poison arrows, he wondered what else lay up ahead, as he noticed a dark fog, a gray fog, behind the beast. Not sure what awaited him, he decided it would be best to both repair his weaponry and enchant for whatever may lie ahead. With his dark orbs of affinity up, and a dark enchant upon his katana, he proceeded forward towards the gate to see what in fact was waiting. Before he could reach the end of the gate, though, a being came. The royal sorcerer of Navland, the same man that had been released, casting dark spells. These magics were insane, and they destroyed the champion near instantly. He wondered, what was this beast? This Navland creature? Is this what had happened to the keep? Was this foul individual responsible for the corruption that now reigned throughout? As he drifted away in life, he slowly wondered what would become of him, unaware that with the transformation of the keep, he had woken back up at the bonfire which he had previously cleared. He thought to himself, this can only be the dark magic of this Navland fellow, and continued out on his journey, knowing that this Navland fellow would be a threat. He began to speed his way through, knowing the dark sorceries that awaited him. He cast fantastic sorceries, quickly dispatching the dragon acolytes that had once plagued him. He did not think there would be men. No, not men, but foul creatures, ghosts. Whatever it was that Navland was, it was something he did not expect to find within the keep. As he restored his spells, he decided the best thing to do would be to kill the foul creatures quickly, and then proceed to destroy this Navland fellow, and find out what it lied below the great fog. With the foul beast down, he walked inside of its cage to find a corrosive urn. Had that been the purpose of these beasts? To create the urns which could be used to destroy armor? He wondered. Approaching the Hippoclops again, he cast Dark Fog, not wasting any time, and begun to throw powerful spells of magic against the beast. Another great Hippoclops wait. And alas, another arbiter would come. The great warrior of Hyde knew not what to do, as spirits were coming in. arbiter spirits, hippoclops, all sorts of foul creatures. But lo and behold, it was the darkest of creatures, a Hauppauge. He knew not if he could beat the foul creature. Begun to cast. He advanced up on the Hauppauge, not knowing if he could beat the creature, but struck anyway with his katana. He waited. The beast with a giant hammer enchanted, begun to cast spells. He knew not if he could beat the foul beast or not. It seemed as if the beast was nigh invincible, tanking hits as though they would not matter. He positioned himself and healed, not wanting of a death, and not sure if he could properly dispatch the Havel-filled monster before him. He re-enchanted his weapons, ready to go out. Lo and behold, the hippoclops still awaited him. He tried to backstab the Havel monster, but it was no effect. The Havel beast, waiting on an opportunity to attack. He circled around the back. A quick dodge. His attacks were not strong enough to beat the Havel beast. But lo, a backstab! And he brought the Havel beast low. A quick heal. A dodge. And the Havel monster was defeated. The champion withdrew himself back inside, healing up and knowing that a hippoclops still awaited him, in addition to the sorcerer known as Navlan. He blasted the hippoclops, attempting to dispatch it, but getting fallen on instead. One last spell was all it would take. But the damn hippoclops would not get hit so easily. The hippoclops gone. The grey fog was all that still await him. He proceeded forward, knowing that the beast known as Navlan was waiting for a chance to strike. Took back the souls that Navlan had attempted to steal, and waited for the man to attack. As Navlan came in, he began his assault. Affinity, crystal soul spears. They were cast off near instantly, and the dark sorcerer fell before him. He praised the incandescence, knowing that the foul man who had likely defiled the keep was now gone. But lo, what wait ahead of him? Dark fog. He wondered what could be beyond this. And so, he readied himself. And chanting his weapon, he went forth. A dragon! A dragon was what stood before him now. Knowing that Aldia had been doing experimentations, he wondered if he had stolen a dragon from the nearby eyrie. The dragon was no joke, throwing out fire to destroy our champion with. He quickly healed up, knowing he would not be able to beat the dragon with ease. Seeing an opening, he proceeded to attack with his katana. His dark drift getting as much damage as possible. Crystal soul spears blasting the dragon. He knew he must fell the beast quickly, lest it would kill him. In one last attempt, he threw out a crystal soul spear, and the dragon fell. And a victory was achieved. Having obtained the soul of the guardian dragon, vanquishing the royal sorcerer Navlan, and destroying the foul beast known as a Hauppauge, the champion of Aldia stood on the bridge, looking ahead to Dragon Eyrie, wondering where his adventure would take him next. So with the keep reclaimed, it's time to do a little PvP, give you some more insight into the PvP potential of this build. Important to note that it is a Fashion Souls build, so it's not the most effective build for PvP, but you know, with some intuitive spell usage, you can do pretty well with it. So, in general, you know all the spells are running. One of the main combos of the build is basically using Affinity, Soul Shower, and then Crystal Soul Spear all in conjunction. Generally, people will try to dodge the Soul Shower, and that will allow you to get off a hit with the Crystal Soul Spear, while Affinity provides some close range coverage if they roll at you. Additionally, you can usually hit people that have just dodged the Affinity with Crystal Soul Spear, so those work really well for comboing together. Heavy homing Soul Arrow is another one that it's great for catching people that are just trying to evade all your spells because of the different timing from typical spells. Makes it a great move for that. It's also good to clean people up with if the fight's coming down to the wire. Dark Fog I won't use very much, but I do have two distinctive uses for it. One, providing me with a visibility barrier, and what I mean by that is generally you can cast Dark Fog, and if they stay back, they're blocked from vision for a second, and you can usually get a good blast in with the Moonlight Greatsword or a Crystal Soul Spear. And the other main use is to help with punishing healers. Basically, if people are they keep running and healing, usually I'll try to get off a Dark Fog and then switch to keeping up the pressure, because generally, after getting the fog on, it's going to be harder for them to run and while taking the poison, and trying to take a poison moss will usually give me the opportunity to blast them with Crystal Soul Spear. Soul Greatsword, not the best spell for PvP by any means, but it is a really cool spell, and with that in mind, I wanted to try and work it in. I wanted at least one of the DLC spells in the build, and I felt that between this and Focus Souls, that the Dark Greatsword was pretty cool, especially because it has those blasts that mimic that of the Moonlight Greatsword. But the build isn't without its weaknesses. Of course, stuff like Great Magic Barrier and Rebel's Great Shield are going to really put a hamper on your effectiveness because you are largely relying on the magic. But in general, I feel that there's enough variability in the build that you can take on just about anybody you go up against. I mean, you got your spells are your main form of nuke, obviously. You got the katana, which is nice and fast, so it has some good synergy with the slower usage of spells. Of course, the Moonlight Greatsword, which you can use for the R2 snipe and to help against people that are just spamming parry attacks, since the R2 is going to be unparryable. But all in all, just be smart about your spell usage, stay on top of your opponent, and generally you can secure some wins. So I'm going to heal up real fast to get my spells, and at this point, I think I've pretty much said everything there is to say. So, thanks for coming by, thanks for watching, hope you guys enjoyed the build, and enjoy some PvP.